On a chilly October evening, the wind howled through the trees outside the old, creaky house that had stood abandoned for years. Sarah, a curious and adventurous teenager, had always been drawn to the mystery surrounding the place. Tonight, she decided to explore it, alone. With a flashlight in hand, Sarah pushed open the rusty gate and walked up the overgrown path. The house loomed above her, its windows dark and empty, like the eyes of a forgotten soul. She shivered, but her curiosity drove her forward. The front door creaked loudly as she pushed it open, revealing a dusty, dimly lit hallway. The air inside was thick with the scent of decay and mold. Sarah's flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows on the peeling wallpaper. She took a deep breath and stepped inside, the floorboards creaking under her weight. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the occasional scurrying of rats. As she explored the downstairs rooms, she found nothing but old, broken furniture and shattered glass. Disappointed, she was about to leave when she noticed a narrow staircase leading up to the attic. Her heart pounded in her chest, but she couldn't resist the urge to see what lay above. The stairs groaned under her feet as she ascended. At the top, she found a small, rickety door. With a trembling hand, she turned the knob and pushed it open. The attic was dark, but her flashlight revealed piles of old, dusty boxes and cobweb-covered furniture. Then she saw it, a large, ornate mirror standing against the far wall. It seemed out of place in the decrepit attic, its surface oddly clean and reflective. Sarah approached it slowly, her flashlight beam trembling. As she got closer, she noticed something strange. Her reflection wasn't quite right. In the mirror, her reflection stood slightly off-center, and behind her, a shadowy figure loomed. She spun around, but the attic was empty. Her breath quickened, and she turned back to the mirror. The shadow was still there, closer now, its form more defined. It had long, bony fingers and hollow eyes that seemed to stare into her soul. Panic set in. She stumbled back, her flashlight slipping from her grasp and rolling across the floor. The beam of light flickered and then went out, plunging the attic into darkness. She felt a cold, clammy hand on her shoulder and screamed. Frantically, she scrambled to find her flashlight, her hands shaking. When she finally found it and turned it back on, the shadow was gone. But the attic felt different, colder, more menacing. She backed away, her eyes darting around the room. Suddenly, the attic door slammed shut, trapping her inside. She pounded on the door, shouting for help, but her voice was swallowed by the oppressive silence. She felt the cold hand again, this time on her neck, and the whisper of breath against her ear. "You shouldn't have come here," a voice hissed, chilling her to the bone. She whirled around, but there was no one there. The mirror now reflected dozens of shadowy figures, all reaching out toward her. She backed into a corner, her flashlight flickering as the figures moved closer, their hollow eyes fixed on her. Her screams echoed in the empty attic, but no one heard her. The shadows enveloped her, their cold hands dragging her towards the mirror. Her flashlight fell to the floor, the light dying out. In the morning, the house stood silent and empty once more. The only sign of Sarah's presence was her flashlight, lying abandoned on the attic floor. The mirror, now covered in dust, showed nothing but darkness, the shadows waiting for their next visitor.